What's up guys, Matt from footballboots.co.uk, and today's video will be my own personal top 5 picks of boots for defenders, as I'm myself a centre half, so I hope it helps you pick the right boots for you this season. So although it doesn't necessarily matter what boots you wear depending on what position you play in, a lot of you guys are interested which type of boots are marketed towards which type of footballer and also which players actually represent them on the world stage. But just make sure you watch my video to see my own personal picks of the boots that I would personally choose. The list itself isn't necessarily a top 5 countdown, but my own personal picks of the best 5 boots in my opinions for defenders out there on the market right now. So make sure you watch the whole video to see all 5 boots. So the main factors I look for when I'm choosing my own boots or when defensive teammates ask me for my own opinion is pretty much protection and comfort, but there's also some performance related aspects as well, which make for a really solid defensive boot. So kicking off our top 5 defenders boots is of course Nike Tiempo Legend 6, which you'll find a lot of centre halves across the world wearing, especially the best in the world, including Sergio Ramos, Gerard Piqué, Jerome Boateng, Raphael Varane, Eric Bailly, of course just signed at Man United, Thiago Silva and Laurent Koscielny. So the biggest positive of the Legend 6 is of course it has that very premium and plush K-leather upper, which isn't just comfortable, but it's designed to offer players a lot of touch and feel. So they are a really great boot and a boot which I would like myself. I used to wear a lot of leather boots. I've gone to the Hypervenom finish myself, but if I were to get a leather boot, then the Legend 6 would definitely be for me. So alongside the touch and feel and comfort of the Legend 6, you're also going to get some good level protection. The leather itself isn't too thin, so there is some nice padding, and also looking at the heel cup of the boot, we can see that it has that redesigned kind of design and it is very solid, so any impacts coming into the back of the heel, they'll be protected really well. So with the Legend 6 having that classic meets modern design and construction, I'd say it's probably the most premium in this top 5 list. If there was one part of the boot which I'd like to see improve, it will probably be just to make it a little bit more responsive, but as it is that K-leather, that's very hard to achieve. But overall, in terms of premium, it takes number 1 in our top 5. If you wanted a similar feeling boot to the Legend 6 but couldn't afford the high price tag, then you could go for the scaled down Tiempo Legacy, because again that does have that leather. I think it's a calf leather, so it's not as premium, but the leather quality is still pretty good, and also the comfort, touch and feel is still going to be there, so that's a great alternative. So next up we've got Adidas's A16.1. You're going to see a host of defenders including the centre halves and fullbacks around the 16.1, including Jordi Alba, Philippe Lahm, Daley Blind, Javi Martinez, Thomas Vermaelen and Matteo De Siglio. Now the perfect thing about that A16.1 is that it comes in a standard and leather variation. So it's pretty much up to you which kind of feel and performance you want to get. You can get the 16.1, which is the synthetic, and the 16.1 leather of course has that toe box which has that very premium K-leather upper to it. So it's very much up to you. It comes equipped with a sprint frame sole plate, so it's actually very lightweight too, weighing in at approximately 193 grams. So it is a very lightweight boot for a defender. So if you are a fullback, it does pose as a very good option for you, and it's actually the lightest boot in our top 5. So the nice thing about the A16.1 standard model, that's synthetic, it is very versatile and lightweight. However, it might just be a little bit too stiff. Saying that, it's going to give you some nice protection because it isn't as thin as what you'll find on other synthetic boots. It has that kind of geometric design going on, and it does offer some nice protection. So overall, the 16.1 Ace is a very versatile boot for defenders and one that you should probably check out. So a more renowned boot for centre halves is Pumas Evopower 1.3. You've got the Italian defender Giorgio Chiellini wearing it. You've got Diego Godin, you've got Dante and also Chancel Mbemba for Newcastle United. And what the Evopower 1.3 does offer is very high level comfort and very high level protection. So it is aimed towards that centre half, that solid centre half that likes to make a lot of tackles. It's a perfect boot for that type of player. So alongside the Adapt Light upper being very soft and padded, the actual blast of the Evopower 1.3 is quite wide. So I know that a lot of centre halves are those kind of taller, bigger players. It kind of seems to be the way. If you are taller and bigger, you play centre half. You might have wider feet, so the Evopower 1.3 is going to give you a nice, comfortable fit if you do have those wider foot types. So although the Evopower 1.3 probably taken our most protective boot in our top 5 list, the wide fit may just be too wide fitting for most players because it is very excessively wide. So although it might be great for those real wide fitted players, most players with those normal or narrow foot types, it might just prove too wide. So the fourth best boot for defenders in no particular order is actually my own personal boot of choice at the moment, and that is Nike's Hypervenom Finish. Now the biggest positive for me is of course it has that redesigned upper to take it back very similar to that original Phantom upper, which is that honeycomb kind of design going on. Very soft, very flexible, has that nice grip to it, and also it's very responsive due to the Brea cables that it does have. So if you're a defender that's looking for a more performance enhancing boot, then the Finish is definitely the boot to look for. So the Finish are actually worn by players such as John Stones, Bakary Sagna and also Kurt Zouma, and it's aimed towards those centre backs or full backs that like to get on the ball and play from the back, so you get a lot of touches, and you can also play those different shaped passes because of that upper. You can get some really nice ball manipulation going on. Obviously it's my own personal boot of choice, which I've said, and it is actually very high performing. So in terms of our top 5 list, it's the most high performing boot in there. If there was one thing that it didn't have, maybe the protection. The upper is very thin, and also it has that toneless design, which is just a very thin piece of synthetic Nike skin, so any studs or impacts coming into the top of the foot will hurt. But if you want a very high performing boot, then the Finish is to go for. So wrapping up our top 5 boots for defenders is Adidas's A16 Plus Prime Knit, and you're going to see players such as Matt Hummels, Jeremy Mathieu and Benedict Howard is wearing this Prime Knit boot. And what you're going to get with the Prime Knit is going to be a very sock-like fit and comfortable. It has that Prime Knit upper, which is very soft and hugs the foot, and it has that compression wrap within the boot and also around the collar as well, just to create that sock-like fit. So if you are looking for a very comfortable boot, then the Prime Knit is going to do a great job throughout those 90 minutes for you. So in my opinion, the A16 Plus Prime Knit is definitely suited to the centre halves of the game. However, it might just be a little bit too clumpy and bulky for me personally, and also some centre halves and fullbacks out there, because it does just feel a little bit too wide for me personally. So if you want that more streamlined boot, definitely go for the Finish or the A16.1. Although if you do want that high comfort and lots of flexibility, then the A16 Plus Prime Knit probably takes our most comfortable in the list. So there you have it guys, that's my own personal top 5 picks of defenders boots for the 2016-17 season. Vote in the poll card now which boot of the top 5 was your favourite, and also if there's any other favourites that you do have, leave in the comment section below. Cheers.